once again, welcome back to another edition of the Monday Night Football. We are back here live on Star TV. We'll be giving you, updates on what is happening, in the game of football right here on Star TV. With my two colleagues right here with me, we'll be meeting Campo, of course, who is on holidays, but I have Mbai Core right here with me, together with Yeroso. Mbai, you welcome to Monday Night.
Sarah, thank you very much once again. We are happy to be back and continue doing what we love doing most, and saying a Merry Christmas to our Christian followers and saying let them keep supporting.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Mbai Core. Yero?
Yeah, thank you very much, and of course I'll take it from saying Merry Christmas, and of course Happy New Year in advance to all our Christian brothers and sisters out there, of course, who normally, of course, follow us on Star TV every Monday. And good to be back again after a few weeks of not joining the Monday Night Sport. I'm happy and, of course, glad to be here again.
All right, we're happy to have Yeroso right here on Monday Night Football. As they rightly said, it's Christmas time, of course. We all celebrating Christmas. We all enjoying Christmas, and we say Merry Christmas to our Christian brothers, of course, because we always celebrate together. But notwithstanding, Monday Night Football, of course, don't have public holidays, huh?
Yeah, as far as sports is concerned.
Exactly.
More especially, these are the type of days that we prefer most, in the sense that our viewers and our followers will be seated at home. We keep the burden out from them and giving them the information that they need to hear, at least to keep their time.
Okay, thank you very much. We start with the GFF 4th Division League Baluo official partner, week 7, which wrap up in a grand style, according to the GFF website on Facebook, with Real de Banjul returning to winning ways and in process extending their lead at the top of the table, following a comfortable 2-0 win over Brikama United at the Life Your Dream Sports Academy in Basori. Amadou Nyasi scored against his former side with a neatly converted penalty kick in the 38th minute before substitute Mamadou Jabate put the game to bed when he picked up a decent pass from substitute Alassane Baji, low cross deep into additional time to make it 2-0. They are now 5 points clear of second place Marimo Parkfoot. Meanwhile, Keba Samu 66 minutes strike was enough for Walidan to beat Banjul United 1-0 in the Banjul derby played at the KG5 mini stadium. The win is Walidan first of the season, and it lifted them off the foot of the table to 13th position with 6 points. Elsewhere, where Banjul came from a goal down to secure a 2-1 draw in Brikama against Bombada. Lamin Tamba broke the deadlock in 48 minutes, but Musa An responded with a 64-minute strike to force a 1-1 draw. The league will now go on a Christmas and New Year's break. We've seen Real de Banjul, with 18 points for now, followed by Marimo 15 points, Team Rhino with 14 points, Fortune with 12 points, and then BST Galaxy with 11 points, Falcons with 10 points, Steve Biko with 10 points, Samga with 9 points, Wabanjul 9 points, Bombada with 8 points, Banjul United 8 points, and then Brikama with 8 points, Walidan with 6 points, TMT FC with 6 points, and then GAF with 5 points, Greater Tomorrow with 5 points. We've seen Real de Banjul, going back top, before the Christmas break.
Yeah, I think, they've bounced back. That is what football is all about. They played Banjul, of course, week 7, or week 6 rather, in Banjul, and they considered an early goal, of course, and Banjul end up getting the maximum points from them, and that was the first defeat of the season from in the hands of Wabanjul. Coming back, of course, against Birkama, that would be a much experienced team. You need to go back, regroup yourself, and of course come back in ways, because they've already tested winning the league, how it feels, So they're already there, and it's good that they're back in the winning ways in the week 7 of the Baluo sponsored, of course, official partnership league. That is the 4th division, and that is
what Real de Banjul want to really have to see that they are getting maximum points week in, week out. I know it's very tough because if you look at the margin now in the First Division League, after week 7, you will see that it is only 3 points different between, of course, Real de Banjul and Marimo FC, who are definitely on their fine form as well. So I think the other bigger teams are really struggling. The likes of GAF, of course, Walida and Birkama United are all really struggling. So these would be a very good time for Real de Banjul, a well-equipped, of course, Real de Banjul to seize the opportunity, and open up the gaps to a greater margin, because 3 points is only one game, which is too narrow for one to say I am safe now. And we're talking about 30 games to play. You played 7, so I think the race is still open.
Yeah, the race is still open. Looking at GAF, Gambian forces, right now sitting at 15th position at the bottom, of the table, at the relegation zone of the table, and then we've seen 7 games already been played, and they're just, with 5 points. Is something happening, with GAF?
Sarah, thank you very much. But for GAF, as far as they are concerned, I believe they will bounce back, simply because their second half of the season is always good. Okay. But of recent years, they always struggle when it comes to the fourth round. Why? It's best known to the team and their technical side. But I would really love to see changes on top. Because if Marimo and Team Rhino can maintain their form till end of the season, it will be good, so that the league can be competitive. If 1 or 2 teams that are already been identified of winning the league on a yearly basis, though it will bring football better, but it will not be, there will not be changes. But to be honest, I want this year for teams of Marimo to maintain their form, at least so that the top, there will be some changes, at least we see what other teams are capable of.
Yeah, because we already seen, Marimo, Team Rhino, Fortune, BST, Galaxy, Falcons, Steve Biko, if you look at the point margin, it's not that much. Even some Gawa Banjul, Bombarda, the points, is not that much. But I think, will they be able to maintain the momentum, especially Marimo?
That's of course where I think it matters most. Marino have been really, a difficult side to play with since last year, because if you looked at how they stopped or where they end last year, they give these big teams a lot of troubles or a lot of headache. I will tell you this year again. They pick it from where they stopped, because trying to make sure that they make life difficult, of course, collecting maximum points when it matters most. So if Marimo is able to continue with the form they have, I think it will be much competitive, and because of the depthness of the squad. But looking at teams like Team Rhino, of course, with the Glassy, these teams have been struggling with the depthness of their squad and so on. Maybe the first round
teams are struggling, they are not fit and so on. Coming to the final third of the season again, that's another dimension in the Gambian First Division League. Most of the time you see teams now trying to fight for relegation, and it makes life very difficult for certain teams. But if you look at it on Netzel, you need to be there 100% from this onset to the last, because teams are not been playing, teams in the first division, they are not been playing much game to say, because you play only 30 games in the whole season. You're not playing perhaps the FA. If I told that these teams were playing the FA, you will have at least teams that will be very, very fit to compete, of course, week in, week out, of course, in the first division league. But most of the time, you have the space that they're playing. Of course, sometimes, again, the schedule disturb these teams a lot, because the number of playing surface that we have here, they are not sufficient. Sometimes you see the advantages and the disadvantages that is caused with different teams. If Real de Banjul will play, of course, at home against Birkama United in Basori, maybe Birkama would play a later day in Birkama, or maybe 2 or 3 days, because of availability of space. These teams cannot, maybe sometimes the different days that they play would be 2 or 3, which is not good at all. You need, if you have a league, different days that you should play should not be more than 3 days. But most of the time, because of playing surface, it's always very difficult to say, okay, you will see where Banjul will play, or Real de Banjul will play this week, and of course playing against Birkama United. Birkama or Real de Banjul might play 2 or 3 days
after, in fact, before you see the other team play. So all these things is because of playing surface, and we know it's really difficult. But it always contribute to the the beautiness of the game. Like if you would take a reference of but what happens in the female first division league, like when of course the Police FC took on Red Scorpion, it was a game that you need to bring to the people closer so that everybody will go and watch that game because it's a derby game. But if you take games like that, you take them outside there because lack of playing surface, it's always not helping our football. So I think this is where some of the problems these teams will be facing, of course. And sometimes it is, of course, later preparation and so on. So it's always tense at this time. And we're looking at it. This is already January, December, end of December, coming towards January. Out of 30 games, we've only played 7 games. So we have a long way to go. We have almost 30 minus 7 will give you almost 23 games to play. So 23 games to play, I think you need to be resilient to be there. You need to be 100% fit to be there. But how many teams will be able to also keep most of the form or perhaps the momentum they are to that level? It needs a lot of experience, it needs a lot of time, it needs a lot of dedication, and of course to complete or to continue how you started the league. So it is a long way, and it will be very, very interesting. But at the end of the day, the team that is really ready for the league will win the league.
All right. Let's also look at the goals, number of goals, that has been scored right now in the GFF league. We've seen, I think, that is really Banjul, who has scored the highest number of goals.
Yeah.
11 goals right now, followed by Marimo. And then we've also followed by Falcons, but Falcon conceded almost 9 goals. Yeah, and then we've also seen, Marimo. Is this very encouraging? The number of goals, having played 7 games now.
No, I think if you looked at the goal margin, it's like more of a 1 point something per game, which is definitely not very good. I would say it's 1.5 per game, which is definitely at the lower side. If we need to see teams that are on their fine form to bang in goals. You played 7 games, you top in the league, of course, with 18 points. We needed to have at least a greater margin to produce top goal scorers. We need to have those players scoring goals for fun, and this will help us, of course, in the international competition. It will, of course, help us again to sell the players or the top strikers or that are players that are assisting to market them to the world, because you need now in this modern generation of football. The technique need to be there. If you don't have any team that doesn't have the technical know-how, you're always in trouble, because for you to perform at that international or at that top level will always be very, very difficult. So we'll need the strikers to be banging in goals. We need the first division league to be entertaining people with spectacular goals. Of course, week in, week out to be scoring goals. And of course, not only 1 goal per match. Most of the time you see games, how much it is 2-1, 1-0, 2-1, 1-0, 2-1, 1-0. Hardly we do have, of course, 3 and 4. Which is, of course, at a minimal game average if you looked at it. But a lot of things need to be done from the top coaches. These need to be a daily training activities. Sometimes when you are on these kind of things as a coach, all you need to do is, of course, you have to work on your defensive. But again, work on how you beat these teams to score. Sometimes they tend to believe that it is black magic, like the Series will always do. You agree with me? Then you are a take post academy. But then the reality is they need to score goal, because 11 out of 7 games definitely it's too low, which is 1.5.
1.5. On the number of goals been scored.
Yes, the number of goals that have been scored in the league, to be honest, as far as the goal scoring chart is concerned, it's very poor. Scoring is always a problem when it comes to the league, and I think strikers or either the offensive coaches should work a lot when it comes to scoring, because I believe that the defensive coaches are having more success than the offensive coaches, because defensively the boys are always good, but when it comes to scoring, it's always a problem.
It's always a problem.
And football, consistency matters.
Yeah.
Because if you can see, this is why last time I sat here and said that, as far as my memory can serve me well, the GFF 2023-2024 opening season, the first game was a surprise to me, where the first week you have 14 goals scored. That was good start, but at the end of the day, why it couldn't last is because of consistency. And in football, consistency is really important. Strikers have to work hard to make sure they bang in more goals.
Okay, now we shift over to Serekunda Football Club, where CEO, that is Yusuf Afal, presents a new car to coach Tafa Mane. It is a momentous event, of course, at Serekunda Football Club when CEO, Fall took center stage, as he presented a brand new car to the club ex-team coach Tafa Mane. The ceremony, which took place amidst the team's training session, added a touch of excitement and opportunism, optimism rather, to the atmosphere. Mr. Fall expressed his satisfaction, with the ongoing project within the team, and he also acknowledged that while immediate results on the field might be pending, he was impressed with the progress and commitment demonstrated by, the coaching staff and, of course, the players also. This positive outlook steps from the belief, that the groundwork being laid at the club is indicative of a promising future for Serekunda Football Club. And during the president, Yusuf Fall said he emphasized his dedication to the development of Gambian football. He highlighted that the newly presented car was a symbol of appreciation, for Coach Tafa Mane's hard work and dedication, to the team. And we've also seen Coach Mane where he expressed gratitude, for the support and recognition from the CEO. He shared his optimism about the team potential and pledged to continue working towards, achieving the set of goals. And I think this is, marvelous. I would say it is unprecedented, in the history of Gambian football, where clubs will present, brand new vehicle to team coaches. And I think this is a good example. And we've seen a lot of comments on social media, people saying other clubs should emulate, what Yusuf Afal, did to Coach Tafa Mane. And I think this is very wonderful. And having known Coach Tafa Mane, you have to respect the coach. Somebody who went, outside the country, just to gain some experience. And then he went to Liberia. He did wonders in Liberia. So he came back home, and I think we've also interviewed him here, and he said, "I finally come back home." A lot of people, were wondering which team was Coach Mane going to handle, and then all of a sudden, he was hired, by the newly bought and transformed, Serekunda FC, and I think this is a wonderful move. This is a very good gesture. This encourages, the coach, the playing staff, the coaching staff, to double up, to put in more efforts, because if players are saying, "Wow, our coach has presented with a brand new car," so the future is bright.
Yeah. Manager, I think I will just tell you that you give football to people who knows it.
Yeah.
You give the business to people who knows it. You cannot take me from the heart today, like being, a heartsman, and eventually just from there take me to the TV station. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, for sure.
If you see of course, Yusuf are doing this, he knows the word of football. He knows, what football is all about. He knows the game. You have to give this to people who knows it. They will know the value of, coaches and of course players. But if you give sports on favoritism, or perhaps people who don't know, have little idea about football and football business, you bring in more harm than good. So Yusufa is definitely done and start something that should be emulated. It was to be emulated from all other clubs. You need to motivate players. You need to motivate coaches. Now it's up to Tafa, because now Yusufa have already hooked up Tafa. Now coach need to work extra harder. We have already had some, of course, discussion, had some of his interviews. He said, his team needs a lot of technicalities to improve, despite the fact that he's struggling in the second division, which we all know, not getting the points, going down here and there. But he came to the team newly. You need to give him time, of course, to insert some of the, of course, the mechanisms that he want to put in. But what exactly, the higher echelon did was marvelous. Concentrate. You don't have to hustle again. This is your car. I'm going to give you all this initiative. Once they are there, expect that if Tapa is given a car outside there, you must expect that the players are having something. They are not giving $25 is fair at the end of the training session, because most teams will give $25, $30, or $50 after the training sessions, or every training sessions. Then, if Tafa is given a brand new car, we will assume that there are other initiatives that have been also been on the table. And if you see Tafa, where he came and why he was accept to coach second division, I mean, there is something that was so motivational to keep Tafa in that second division team. So we will say kudos, of course, to Yusufa, and of course, all his technical team, or maybe we'll call management, for the gesture that he's done for, of course, our Gambian brother. This was my fear. But my fear when he gave, I think we sat here, and what I said was, would we be able to, or would this Yusufa be able to know the pain that we are going through? Would he able to consider, the dynamics of Gambian football? What is he going to bring in our football? Because the federation should regulate all these things. Will the federation be able to, of course, regulate, foreign investors investing in our football? I think the answer is coming out.
According to Fal, he promised, of additional projects for Gambian football. That is, the broader impact of such initiative could extend, beyond the club, leaving a lasting imprint, on football landscape in the region by. And I think this is wonderful. This is the type of, investors, we need, in our game. In the beginning, we all talk about the fears, of foreigners coming over, taking over our clubs, and then, just using it as a money-making machine. But here we've seen, Yusufa, changing the game, of football in the Gambia. A second division team, presenting a brand new vehicle, to his coach.
Sarah, congratulations to Yusufa for complimenting the effort that he said. At the beginning, when he came, what he said was he want to develop Gambian football and play his quota. Now he start implementing it by action. Within how many months, 2 different projects came, which first one he brought scouts here to make sure they scout talent and help the team, number 1, which is a development, which among them was a coach who coached a Gambian legend, Ibrahim Sohna, at the team that he was playing, where he made more than 100 appearances. And within that month, again, he produced and gave a brand new car to his coach. To be honest, he is doing it by action, not only by words. This is an individual who is doing it. What are the institutions waiting for? Coaches, we do meet with them on social activities. We sit with them, we chat with them, we move with them. Some of them, we are staying within the same area. If such is done for them, we will see it. Gambians, some we are used to. If someone do good, instead you compliment the effort, you will want to quote reference, I did it, I did it. What are the evidence that shows you did it? Yes, I understand Ibu Jara was lucky to be given also a 4-wheel by the Gambia Armed Forces when he was managing them. But like that one is not a new one like this one. For Tafa Mane, he deserves it because he's a coach with passion, he's a coach with determination, and he's a coach who have an objective of developing young talents. Congratulations to both of them, and we hope and see how Serekunda Football Academy will end this season.
I wish Gambia Ports Authority will, of course, emulate.
No, we will talk about we will talk about Ports Authority. I think we have a story concerning Ports Authority here. Let's continue with more of the information we have on Gambian, football, especially Gambian players playing abroad. We've also seen Fadera was on the score sheet for Geng vs Anderlecht. The Gambia international played 86 minutes in Geng, 2-1 defeat versus Anderlecht. We've also seen another story, where Modu Barrow returned to Silver Sports starting lineup in their 1-0 win over Eastern Sports and played 84 minutes, in the game. He completed the most chances and 4, and won most foul 3 than any player, in his 10th match of the season. We also see Saudi Arabia, if he donated $12.4 million you know, to the GFF to build a mini stadium, you know, in Nyakoi Karawan. The mini stadium was supposed to be completed in 1 month ago, according to the contract agreement. However, the stadium is still not ready, and then, people will be urging, you know, GFF to finish, you know, the project and then respect the agreement.
It's a pity, honestly.
Yeah.
A contract should have ended or finished by last month,
Yeah.
and we haven't even seen nothing. I mean, it's really a pity, you know, getting 12.4 million, you know, to be erected for the people, of course, of Nyako. We know how less privileged those people are when it comes to facilities. I mean, I'm from the, you know, rural Gambia, and we know how rural Gambia people struggle to play. Most of them have to clear farms and play. So if this opportunity arises from, you know, people outside there, they need to have honored and, of course, put in Gambia force, because these are legacy that you need to leave behind. Not to say, okay, these are flimsy excuses that will come on board to say, okay, what are the reasons why these projects are not being handed? You know, after everything has been approved by the federation. This is why I
think it was signed. It was signed on 20th July 2023. You know, and the contract duration, you know, was a 4-month calendar. You know, that was it. And then looking at the, you know, other information, the contract, the project consists of the following. That is, the construction, you know, of football pitch includes a new perimeter fence with a combination of block work and steel mast, you know, of about 3 meter high, leveling the entire pitch ground, supplying of both the laterite, soil and black sand, planting grass, installing of lawn sprinkler system, and construction of, you know, 8-meter borehole system. The construction of the Nyako project dressing room consists of 2 dressing rooms, referees room, medical room, you know, also office block for the Regional Football Association, all with toilets, and the total floor area is approximately
200 meters.
200 meters wide. Yeah.
This is huge, Shadow. This is what you can do for a country.
Yeah.
I think Saudi have done their piece, of course, trying to help the Gambia because of the ties, the diplomatic ties that we have, of course, with them.
Yeah.
They did it for the country, but again, those people responsible to make sure that all these, you know, facilities are erected in Nyakoi, definitely should come and tell the public what is happening. A contract that should have finished or maybe should have ended in 4 months, we're still seeing almost nothing per se. What is happening? What is the reason why we are not seeing all these things? And this is the tragedy of football. And look, if we mean exactly, or if they mean exactly what they said, they want to decentralize football. I want to decentralize football. You need to get those instructions to them, to their doorstep. When education started and said we need education, the policy says education to the doorstep of every Gambian, you know, a child. They make sure that schools are built around, you know, the communities or in communities that are closer. Or if you said you want to decentralize football, you have to build, you know, structures. You have to build parks. You have to make sure that you organize these zones. Most of these zones around the rural area are not organized. They aren't organized at all. Why? Because we don't have, you know, people who are well trained on sports management and show. Most of them, they are going on voluntary basis. Maybe you were once playing who love football and you come up and said, okay, we're going to organize now. Sometimes you go to these up countries, you see a village here will organize a tournament. The next village will also organize a tournament. It is so scarce. You don't know which is which. But if it is organized like today, Serakunda West, for example, they organize you know, a yearly Nawetan where Ibo Town, Josuang, you know, Bakau and the other community, satellite community, sorry, Kanifing and the satellite communities will come and play. But if they want to organize their own, you know, tournament, like Ibo Town, Josuang organize their fitness tournament and so on, it's accepted. But if you go to like Lowanyomi, Oponyomi here, every village almost organizes tournament. Everyone can just sit up and organize tournament, and there is no one who scouts these players at the end of the day. So it's just a waste of talent, of course, and not being controlled. But with this kind of projects, these are the things that we want to see implemented, of course, in our football, and this is what can help our football, not the delayance that we are seeing in the football. I think this is totally not accepted as far as, you know, grants, of course, and aid are concerned from those people. I would urge, of course, you know, if such is to happen,
you know, we will try and see if there is any way of, or possibility, if the Saudi people in fact can contract people and let only GFF, you know, make sure that they identify the place where they will do it for themselves, and then at the end of the day, you just have to hand them the key.
Hand them over the key.
You don't need to give them a contract anymore, because 12.4 million, you know, dollars is a huge amount of money, and this is a big project that could definitely change the livelihood of Nyako people and the community.
Exactly.
Because football came on. I will say this and say this again. These sports, music and so on, they came to help the needy, the poor people. Yeah. Within a blink of an eye, they can change our entire, you know, lineage. That is, of course, if today you go build that kind of, you know, infrastructure in Nyakoi, just like what Bambali today did. Yeah. Only Sadio Mane changed the life and livelihood of a lot of people. It could also happen in Nyakoi if at all that this was, you know, of course, erected in Nyakoi at the due time. They should have been benefiting and, of course, enjoying all this. And again, create employment, because the people in that community will be working as, you know, security officers there, or perhaps, you know, looking at the day-to-day affairs of maintenance of the grass and so on. So it's huge. It's a big impact, you know, for the community and, of course, for Gambia at large. So what is the threat rating from, you know, this you know, park being erected in Nyakoi is a big question mark. We will all follow and bring it to the doorstep of all Gambians.
Bye.
Sarah, when it comes to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the GFF are really doing their best as far as that diplomatic tie is concerned. Yeah. And these are the things that we want. Yeah. If you are in office, create modalities, create incomes that can support your institution, that can support your administration, because you alone cannot do it. But now the question is, after doing that wonderful job, which is welcome, and people are saying thumbs up on that move, when such amount is given, I believe authorities should really vet the people they offer these contracts, and they should also monitor. It is easy to lay a foundation stone, but how would you follow that project? We can quote reference. How many of the projects or stadiums foundation stones were laid here, but they failed? Simply because later the contractors will just abandon it. You want to give it to another contractor. So that other contractor also, if it comes, he will want to start from zero. Because they may not know the reason why that guy stopped, and they will not want to fail. So to be honest, if such things happen and you are awarding the contract should be fully fledged contract. Monitor it, and you make sure you strictly.
Do you think this thing has anything to do with the contractor? You know, the delayance, you know, of such, you know, we've seen.
If the money is put where it's supposed to be.
We've seen previously before Kabari assumed office, you know, there were so many delays, you know, on some of these projects, you know, in which, you know, some of the projects, you know, were blame on the, you know, contractors, you know,
but why I'm saying this is, I don't think you can just sit as a body, you award a contract to someone and you fold your hands. You must put a mediator there, who is between you and the contractor.
Has the project even started? That is $1 million.
It's really a question mark. Yes, to be honest, it's so pathetic, but as you said, this is the Gambia for us. If you say what you know, if you say what is factual, where someone who is not in fact a myopic can see that what you are saying, it is true, some people tend to listen with their heart instead to listen with their mind.
Okay, now we've also seen another, where the Morocco Football Federation will build a mini stadium in Bansang to help the Gambian grassroots football. Delegates from the Morocco FA and GFF were in Bansang to start the process, and then, as you already know, it's a very, very good initiative, you know, from the Moroccan FA, and then we also, you know, applaud, that is the Gambia Football Federation, you know, for making this, you know, to happen, at least, you know, pushing, so that at least Gambians in the rural areas, you know, Gambians far beyond, you know, can enjoy some of these facilities, you know, that we are enjoying in the urban area here.
I mean, we aren't yet enjoying any facility anyway. No, but we will have to say,
you know, you are playing day in, day out.
Playing, I know, we are playing. But I know how my athletes
building the facility, to be honest, to
how my athletes, you know,
I don't think it's an issue. But the problem here is how to maintain those facilities. You can just build it It looks nice at the opening. It looks very beautiful. But how are you going to maintain that beauty? One, when building that facility, you have to make sure you consider security. You have to consider the maintenance of that infrastructure. No. And here to build a facility, more especially this football pitch, Sarah, you cannot have a very good football pitch if you are building a facility without having a good borehole. Because these pitches cannot go without water. At the beginning, as a start, it will be, but after the inauguration, go back and see. It is always very sad. Why? Because some of them make it in a rush. Whatever facility they are to build, regardless to where, let them make sure they have a good borehole that can be supplying water for the maintenance and the restraint of the field. Because without water, none of this pitch will survive.
What for money? What for we call it? You know, you have to always gauge like the word for money. That is, of course, you cannot give somebody 12.4 million and you erect, you know, a stadium or a playground that is you know, less than 5-point-something million dollars. At the end of the day, it wouldn't last. No matter how you drill boreholes there, whatever you put there, you have to always, you know, go for standard. If you want things to last long, go for standard. Go for the money worth. Because, you know, you cannot just come and bring things haphazardly and you do it. No matter how you take care of those things, it wouldn't work. And this have been hampering. If you looked at today the Banjul Ministerium, which have been rehabilitated, we're talking of a lot of money, of course, that has been used to rehabilitate the Banjul Ministerium. But come next, you know, Nawetan, they will find it very difficult, in fact, to play there. Because, you know, the money worth, again, is what we are afraid of having again. But this project that is, of course, the one that Bansang people are, you know, about to, you know, enjoy, or perhaps Gambian people at large will enjoy from the Moroccan Football Federation. I mean, all they need is, of course, to make sure that everything is up to standard, even if it is a quarter.
According to if you go to the GFF Facebook, you know, according to Omar Khari, you know, said Morocco Federation will help the GFF build a CAF and FIFA standard mini stadium.
They're going to help them on that. Yeah. But now, how are they going to execute the contract is a question mark. Because if you said, okay, we're going to give you a standard one, a standard, you know, GFF or CAF or FIFA standard mini stadium here. Now, you end up disbursing the funds for that standard of money. And then at the end of the day, you come and give us, you know, a pitch that is not up to standard. Like the FIFA goal project today.
Yeah, and I think they should have mentioned, you know, the amount of money, you know, that was going to be
involved in the project.
Because looking at the story, you know, on the GFF Facebook page, there's no amount of money, you know, being quoted as the nature of the project.
And Morocco will not give you, of course, tell you that we are going to give you maybe a project or substandard without giving you at least, you know.
And the saddest thing is, if you are to find out of how much money is involved, you are considered as a threat.
Yeah.
This is what is written from the GFF Facebook page. And I believe before it is written, authorities might go over it. Well, what is bad on at least mentioning an amount?
Quoting an amount.
We understand, yes. Some offices have their oath of secrecy. But the more you choose to come out in public and talk about the project, quote reference, some project money, the amount of money involved is mentioned. Yeah. Why such, if it is true and it is going to happen, why is it that the money involved is not mentioned and other projects, so the money that is involved is mentioned?
Yeah, it is definitely, you know, so unfortunate that we are in that dimension, but we have to just say congratulations and wait and see what the GFF, because we are monitoring. The journalists are, of course, watching, not, you know.
No, I think, you know, the only bad thing is, you know, when this type of things is happening, you know, this is the GFF delegation, you know, going to Bansang, you know, with delegation from Morocco. All right, and then we've also seen, you know, those who are present, the delegation, you know, passed by the Janjanbureh Area Council, where a brief meeting with the CEO, Alaji Samba, MK Lee, was held. All right, we also know the delegation is led by Mr. Jami, also include Mr. Matar Job, GFF Project Liaison Officer. I was accompanied by the GFF Third Vice President, Numukunda Kanyi, an executive member of the RFA. Other local dignitaries at the event also include the NAM, for Lower Fuladu and Alcalo of Bansang, among other village elders.
Yeah.
And I think they should have involved the media. What is stopping GFF to say, okay, well, I know that they have a media team, all right? The media team is there to satisfy the executive of Gambia Football Federation. Is there to take out, you know, what the executive want them to tell Gambians, all right? Here, they should have, you know, invited the private media houses, all right? Tell them we're going to Bansang. We have a delegation, you know, Morocco want to, you know, build a standard mini stadium, you know, in Bansang. We are going for a site visiting with the Moroccan delegation, and then we want you to accompany us, and then, you know, ask questions, do whatever thing that you want to do. But they won't do that. They won't do that for the fear that, you know, if journalists goes there, they will be asking too much questions, you know, that they will not want, you know, Gambians to know.
Yeah, very well. I think if independent journalists were there, they would have asked this question: how much or the worth of this project, not only to, you know, sum up what they wanted to publish to the media and so on. But I think it's really disheartening. We didn't know actually how much money those of course the Moroccan Federation pledged to spend, of course, in the project that is to be built in Bansang. So if at the end of the day they built any kind of facility there, you would not. How would you actually know, unless and until if we are privileged to have the contract document that will specify the amount of money that will be spent, of course. And again, if maybe they have if they to start, you know, the project, maybe some journalists will be around to ask this question. I think I wish if I had the opportunity to hear or know when exactly they to start this project, I will definitely be try by all means to be there and I will ask how much is, of course, the net worth of the project, not only to come and say, okay, we are going to build you know, a facility or a FIFA standard or a CAF standard or whatsoever standard, without knowing actually how much is going there. Because at the end of the day, this is the only way you can account them for. You can say, okay, you're giving this amount of money and we're expecting to have this thing out. But if you give us you know, a net worth of, you know, maybe 12 point something million, and at the end of the day you're giving us maybe 7 point or 5 point or 6 point or 4 points, at least one could reason very well to say that this is not fair at all. Maybe there's a foul play somewhere and so on. But at the end of the day, it's what we are saying, and we hope that this will they will come out again and tell, once everything is done, they will tell people, okay, this is how much is to be spent, you know, at the Bansang project, and then we take it from there.
All right. Now, away from that one, we've also seen the pressure is more on Senegal, according to Coach Tom. You know, in an interview with AfriFood, the Gambian coach Tom talks about the CAN, the Scorpion next, you know, opponents who opened the ball on January 15 against Senegal. You know, he said, we are in a group of death with the reigning African champions, Senegal, Cameroon, semi-finalists, two great football countries were at the last World Cup in Qatar. There's also Guinea with one of the best scorers, you know, in German championship. All right, it is very difficult group. But as a coach, according to Tom, with my team, we never approach a match with the idea of losing it. We want to win every match to qualify for the second round. We know that it will be more difficult than at the last CAN. There are reasons for this. We were a surprise team in Cameroon, but today everyone knows our qualities. We have a few injured players without a club. We are not the same team. We only have 3 players who played in the first division in the 8 best championship in Europe. We do not have high-level system like Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, but we are going to start this tournament with the ambition to work miracles. We are very realistic. We know that it will be very difficult, but we are here to achieve good results. All right, this is, you know, a coach, you know, who is about to face, you know, the reigning champions, that is Senegal. All right, you know, for me, throwing the towel at the earlier stage.
Yeah, very well.
That if they're beaten, you know, people shouldn't complain. You already, you know, talk about how difficult it is. But my surprise is, you know, he mentioned, you know, players without club. How many players, you know, do we have in the Gambia who are playing, you know, with clubs day in, day out, and they've been neglected? Is there an excuse?
Never.
Is there an excuse?
Never, at all, at all. I think, you know, one part of course, you know, his interview is like, he's trying to definitely, as you rightly said, throw a towel out there. But
they're encouraging words, of course, and of course to the approach of this African Cup of Nations for the team. But again, if you looked at it now, you're trying to say you don't have players who are playing in top-level football. I think in African football, we might say, okay, you have players who are above. But sometimes we see countries that will come in and, of course, do miracles. When you were going for the African Cup of Nations, of course, last time in Cameroon, it wasn't like that. There were no words that will say, okay, we don't know our quality or whatsoever. Of course, we have quality players. Yeah. We have players that have clubs. Now, why inviting players that, in fact, you don't even know where they're playing? So this is a big question mark for Tom. Of course, you have the opportunity now to invite up to 27 players than before where you invite only 23 players. Yeah. So it's a big vacuum that you need to work on. Don't only consider those playing, or those that do not have club. Consider, of course, talents in the Gambia. Then, if you think it is too, you're inviting players who don't even have, clubs or perhaps who have not been playing competitive football. At least those that will play week in week out in the Gambia would be far more better to me. Maybe exposure-wise, then we will say yes. But I think this whole story of yes, we will do our best is just like, okay, we're just going there. Whatever we do, we have Gambians will know that. It's just
lame excuses.
Yeah, we will just say at the end of the day, whatever comes out, it is out. But you have to go there. You're not going there to fulfill numbers. You're going there to compete, as other countries will do. Give respect, of course, to the teams. If you say Senegal is under pressure, there are the people under pressure, whatsoever. What kind of pressure are the Senegalese on? Because we will say Gambia have nothing to lose. But you have nothing to lose. You are playing against Senegal. We are neighbor. The culture alone that embedded in between us and the, of course, and Senegal. If you looked at the last time we played against Senegal, it was Assis Kornyang and the others who were playing. Where were they playing? The likes of Elas Juve from the World Cup, of course, and they are playing in Liverpool and other countries. But these kind of statements never came. And we had a local coach at that time who led the team, and they played extremely well. They make life very, very difficult for Senegal. Yeah. So what are we trying to say here? We have now players who have been exposed, who have played the African Nations Cup, of course. Then the likes of Assis and the others who have played never played the African Nations Cup. But today we have players who have exposed and played, of course, even in the UEFA Champions League. Yeah. We are fortunate, What all we need to do is now to, make sure that the right mechanism and the right people have been selected, of course, with the right mentality. That is what you need, not to say, okay, Senegal are under pressure, we are going to do our best, we are going to do that and that and that, and because Senegal, Cameroon is the champions, what this and that and that. Yes, that's football, that is records, that is in the past. We have to respect those records. Those are the records that you will take so that you will build up the momentum at least to fight harder. Not to those records to threaten you or to say yes because they are better than others. That's on paper. We have seen a lot of things like even at club level or national level, teams that have better records have been seriously beaten in championship. Germany, you look at their last appearance in the World Cup and of course in the Euros. They have struggled and they win everything. Look at the clubs that will, or the teams rather, the countries that will beat them in those championships. You're always surprised. Look at the Asian teams that are coming now newly. They don't give any regards to say, okay, they don't say, okay, we are going to play with Brazil or whatsoever. They come and play. When they come and play, whatever they get, that's that. But you don't have to come and say, okay, we living off, those have won this, we have won that, those have won that, these are under pressure. Come on, guys. This is, I think, throwing right word is throwing towel on for people.
Yeah. Yes, Sarah, as you said, one thing that make me happy on his comment is, I'm happy that he mentioned key points that really he should start working on by now. After knowing that Senegal are the reigning champions, fine. It is your responsibility to start working on how to overcome them. You will not say you don't know their performance level, you don't know their achievement, you already know it. Now it's your responsibility to do your homework, number one. Number two, every cohort of footballers and technical side always work on history. Football is not played on papers, it is played in the pitch. Give the boys that mentality, give them that free flow to play with their mind, and we see what the result will be at the end of the game.
Exactly. All right. That's Coach Tom for you, and then the number of days, is getting closer. Closer and closer, and we know that Senegal are really preparing, for this game, because I think, in the news we've heard Augustine Senghor, saying that, I think they're going to pay for some of the fans, to go over, support and chant, for the Three Lions, because the Three Lions, are the defending champion. So defending champions, should be supported as, champions.
Champions, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, my God.
That is the edge they have over us.
Yeah.
To be honest, fans are very, very important as far as the game of football is concerned.
Yep.
Senegal, you will see them go with Duzem Gainde. That is their national fans club. They will adopt Casa Sport fans club to join the national fans club. They will equally adopt Lebuji fans club to join those two fan clubs, make it 3. And that strong fan base, to be honest, will be a motivating factor to their team, and it will also be a distracting factor to our team, because fans are very important in football.
All right.
Yeah, I think we've tested that, during the COVID. When we will play, of course, in stadiums that way without no fans, how it feels is like, a cup of tea without sugar, of course. It doesn't sound that good, but it's so unfortunate. It's the country. Let's wait and see what the government, of course, and the GFF will come up with. I know the NCC are trying everything possible to see that the funds will be ferried to Ivory Coast to cheer up the boys. But the more fans you have, to cheer up the boys, I think it's better. But sometimes when you hear what comes out, in camps, that is like some football, most of the football or the national team players they are not comfortable per se to play in front of the Gambian fans. Sometimes you hear all these sentiments and so on and so forth. Is this really what is, holding the GFF and the ministry from ferrying people to go there and support the team? Which I don't know. But I think the more we have fans there, I know the game will start no soon as January holidays is over, because Gambia and Senegal, the rivalry, the intercultural relationship that we have, how close we are. So the game is just beyond the pitch. So all you need is to prepare well. Mentally, you need to be prepared, because the social media will be on fire very soon between Senegal, Gambia, Senegal. Even on the under 17 or under 20, you've seen how heated it was. Much more now the national team and Senegal, of course, going in this championship or this Nations Cup. After winning, of course, the previous, African for their first African Nations Cup. So they will want to come, of course, and win their first game. And unfortunately, they are meeting, of course, their rival, that is Gambia. So what do you need, of course, to be much prepared, to be mentally prepared, and of course, to get people behind you to cheer up and to cheer the team so that they will keep moving and they keep moving. Because from this minute go to the last dice, you have to be on top of your game. You don't have to go down a bit. The moment you do that, Senegal will punish you. So you need to be on top of your game. Whatever the game plan is, be on top of your game till the 90 minutes is over. Then whatever comes out of the game, everybody will know that yes, that's football. But you cannot say, okay, because Senegal are the champions, Senegal are winning this and that, so we're going to, they are under pressure, that and that. At the end of the day, it doesn't tell well. Go and prepare, this team is team. 11 players are playing. You go and prepare on them, because you see every team. Senegal, you have the opportunity to see their players. Use those avenues to prepare the team based on that. If you think it's Sadio Mane that they are going to use to whip you, or they've been using Sadio Mane for their previous games, try and see mechanism or ways out where you can pin him up, where you can get him out of the game. And of course, where do you think their weakness is to penetrate and score goals? Try and work on that. That's approaches.
And also not to focus too much on Sadio Mane.
And not to sometimes pressure. You can, you have to work. That is the mentality of the player. Sometimes you don't have to say, okay, Jacob Mendy, go in there. You only play Sadio Mane the whole entire game or whatsoever. Yes, be mindful. They always run. So you have to prepare mentally, man. That's the importance of, going to train. You don't just go to train and tell them, okay, sit behind the ball and start defending the whole team and whatsoever. No, you have to get approaches, prepare the team mentally, physically prepare the team. And once you get Senegal, you know that, okay, this is the team that we've prepared for. And then prepare for the next game. That's how football is all about. But not only saying that, yes, they have been winning this, that, and that. The current squad that they are having, prepare based on that.
Okay. Omar Colley scored the opener in Baxitas 3-1 defeat to Ayaspor on Thursday. Colley is now joined top league scorer, for the Baxitas team, to level with Vincent Abubakar and Chamberlain. He scored 5 goals in all competitions for the Eagles and 7 goals in 2023 for club and country. We also seen the Gambia greatest referee, of all time, have decided to hang up, his whistle. Papa Gassama retires as one of the greatest African referees, of all time. And we will discuss that more, because we have plans, to invite him here at the studio, so that we can, talk to him and then gain a lot of, experience, a lot of insight, into him, those days, when he was, playing referee. But he is one of, Africa greatest referees of all time. He did really wonders. He fly the Gambian flag higher. I haven't seen any individual who have done, what he has done for his country.
He need to be sung, of course, all over Africa, not only in the Gambia, because he always represents the continent. When he goes to the FIFA World Cup, all we were hearing was the referee from Africa. Of course, we have this number of referees from Africa, and of course, Papa Gassama, the third would be, of course, Gambia. He's done a lot. For our football, he's done a lot for the continent and, of course, for our country. He is a legend in the game. I think we are fortunate or lucky to have such talented individual in our country. This is a clear manifestation of what we have. The talent that is in this country. All you need is now how to groom them, how to make, of course, their dreams come true. Papa Gassama, a living legend, he should pave in way out to give him the responsibility to make sure that he groom in referees, in fact to train in referees and so on and so forth, not for him to retire and then at the end of the day he is tired. He shouldn't be tired, of course. You have to still give to these young people, help them to realize their dreams, to follow the footsteps. We shouldn't only stop at Papa Gassama. We will, of course, wish him a happy retirement. We are so happy. I am so much happy to at least see our country having the likes of Papa Gassama. But what we pray is, of course, Papa, don't stop. You have to keep motivating. You have to train more referees, of course, in our country for not only to be only Papa Gassama, who used to be a Gambian referee, but we need more Papa Gassamas. We need more people, to represent this country and, of course, our continent from this country. It makes it standard. The more you have standard refereeing, the better your league becomes, because refereeing count in the game of football. Yeah. So if you don't have proper refereeing, it's always a problem. You end up having, match problems here and there, reports here and there, and of course poor officiating can lead to a lot of chaos in football. But with standard refereeing, of course, with good refereeing, you always assure beautiful game of football. You assure a fantastic football that you can enjoy from wherever you are. And of course, I would just say a big congratulations to Papa once more, and hope that we will have more of him.
Papa.
Sarah, I would say a big congratulations to Papa. He is indeed a legend, and he deserves to be celebrated. These are the people we have to celebrate, and we have to celebrate them when they are alive.
Very well.
We have to celebrate them when things are challenging on their side. I did not sit with him, but he really did good, simply because Papa have set a record. Setting a record and a record breaker are different. No. Papa is among the first set of FIFA referees who used the FIFA magic spray in a FIFA Club World Cup. Papa Gassama is the first African referee to officiate in 3 executive FIFA World Cup, 2014, 2018, and 2022. It is a record that he holds, and it is a record that he set for his fellow African referees. I just wish and pray Gambia have another Papa Gassama.
All right, thank you very much. Away from that, we've also seen Seydou Janko is back in the squad. And I quote, Babukar Kamara said, I want to state that the omission of Seydou Janko name for the original list was an error made by me. I inadvertently omitted the name during the design process, but it's now being rectified and republished. I take full responsibility and apologize for any inconvenience that this may cause to the player, his family, friends, and supporters. Everyone make mistakes. We all know everyone make mistakes, and then, Babukar, is someone who has, done a lot, contributed a lot. In Gambia.
Do you know why I support this?
Yeah, I'm just coming. He have done a lot. Not only, Babukar as a role, at the Gambia Football Federation, but during his days, as a journalist, he have done a lot, covered a lot, put a lot of his energy, his input, on Gambian sport. So for this, it's just, a human error. We all know, people make mistakes. Yeah.
Sarah, why I like this piece so much is what I always cry of. What is that? Justice and transparency.
That's it.
Every human being should make mistake. Accept it and you open a fresh page.
For sure.
Babukar, I salute him on this, commend him for this, for taking this bold step, coming out plainly to say it is a mistake that was caused by him. and he again rectified. This is all what we need. Who is going to against him? No one. You did it. Come back and rectify. Apologize. My brother, I for one have forgiven you. Keep up the job, and this is all what we need: transparency and justice for the betterment of the Gambia.
Of course, I think it's beautiful, Mr. Kamara. I mean, Babukar, that is what we trade for. You know, he's a trade journalist. And of course, there's a clause that will tell you always, you know, you always take ownership of what you've done. And he have exactly executed what we expect from him. So, to every human is error. There is no human who will not go in error, of course, you know. So we will say that is well accepted and of course well noted, you know, from Babukar. And of course, I've just forgotten that I have to say Omar Koli on his beautiful, of course, or wonderful perhaps, you know, season even bagging in goals for basic stats, and of course doing well. So we will say that I hope that, you know, this would be a replica in the African Nations Cup. Captain Omar, you know, I wish you all the best of luck to stay fit and stay injury free. You know, Gambia will definitely need those services in the African Nations Cup, especially against you know, our neighbors here, Senegal. So Omar, congratulations, and Babukar, keep up the work. That is what is expected as a journalist.
Really, and a big congratulations for Omar, as Yero said, because if a defender should be competing with the strikers of his team, equaling their tally on scoring, it's really a thumbs up. Why? He complement his effort of defending and also contribute of helping the team of scoring. As Sir Alex Ferguson always says, it's strikers that win you games, but it's defenders that win you title.
You coaching,
yes,
coaching my coach.
Yeah, no, to be honest, that is what I love on him. To be honest, he was telling you exactly the facts.
I like that.
And what he said is true.
Yeah,
it is strikers that win you games, but it's defenders that win you title.
That's right.
They can score as much as you can.
But
if defenders are not defending, today Arsenal, we are on top of the table at this moment.
You are learning. We are happy that you are learning.
I'm happy
Yes,
that Arsenal is learning from Manchester.
Yes, our defensive compactness.
Yes.
Look at Arsenal defensively now. We are well organized. Okay. Comparing, no, to be honest,
thank you very
much.
Thank you very much. Well, we've also seen on media Senegal, where President of the Senegal Football Federation, that is Augustin Senghor, says the federation is currently assessing, you know, the need for tickets to allow Senegalese supporters to attend, you know, group stage matches. Augustin Senghor stressed that CAN 2023 will be particularly important because it comes after the previous victory. He expressed ambitions to retain the trophy while recognizing that Senegal will be the team to beat. Well, here, you know, is Senegal Federation right now assessing, you know, the need, you know, for supporters, you know, to get tickets, you know, to attend all the group stages, you know, that Senegal, you know, is going to play. You know, if our opponent is doing this, what should we do? Okay. We also know, although we have not won the trophy, you know, in Cameroon, but, you know, as a nation, we did wonders in Cameroon. You know, a lot of people came to know us because of, you know, what we did, you know, in Cameroon. So the expectation is that at least, you know, Gambia would also, you know, try to see, you know, in as much, you know, make the number bigger, you know, of Gambian supporters, you know, who would be, you know, there in Ivory Coast to support the Scorpions, you know, rather than, you know, taking on an individual who would go there, you know, just like holiday. You know, they would have no interest with the game. They would just be there taking pictures, taking selfies, this and that. They will not be there to support, you know, be the, you know, 12 man, you know,
of the national team.
For the
very well,
national team.
Very well, manager. I think you know, in Cameroon might be a little bit more difficult because you need, of course, air, you know, flight to go. But you can coach most of these fans. You can coach them to Ivory Coast. That is, of course, using the bus. A lot of these GTSC bus, they are in good condition, of course, with air condition and so on. So once you get maybe around, I know it would be a little bit expensive, but if you have at least a number of buses that will be going to, you know, Abidjan. You know, it might be some days to go to Abidjan and you are there finally to cheer up the boys. It will also add with As we said, we've tested what football is behind the supporters or without the supporters. We have seen that there is always a huge difference indeed. A team with fans that are cheering up the team and a team without fans. We are going to compete. We are not just going there to field up that Group C or Group A, Group C, numbers there. We're going to compete with them. We've qualified as they've qualified. So what else we need is, of course, we need those fans to be there. And so whatever the federation, of course, with the government will do to make sure that they ferry most of these, these supporters to Abidjan, they should definitely do that. And preparation now, we counting less than 20 days now. We're talking about 2 weeks, some days, which is just at the corner. So a lot of preparation should have been done. And I want to believe that they would have already sent at least people out in Abidjan to make sure that they've arranged, where these supporters, journalists, and of course the team will come and training and everything will be done, whilst others will be preparing here. But I mean, I've got to interact with some of them who said there is somebody out there, of course, in Abidjan trying to make all those arrangements. And so I hope and we wish that all those things are in place, so that we can also have these supporters to be coached down to Abidjan. In failure to coach most of them, we will find it very difficult, of course, to compete with other nations, because definitely they will bring in as much supporters as they could. As you rightly use, you've just seen Augustine saying that they are going to take as many supporters as they could, of course, and access tickets, of course, to cheer up their team. It's positive. This is what we expect. Wonderful. This is really what we expect. So yeah. I hope that
and also before Mbai comes in, look at the Gambia Post Authority saga, which still continues. We've seen on the Point Sports, that the Gambia Post Authority Football Club official players are on another sit-down strike, over a 2-month non-payment of salaries for both players and technical staff. The Gambia Post Authority is one of the top teams in the country and has participated in both Total Energy CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup qualifiers in recent years. It's been almost 3 seasons since the team, has been in this situation, and it's believed that the Gambia Post Authority management is one of the slacking off, for the late payment of salaries. The players are threatening a no-show in the club activities until their outstanding wages, are fully paid. And I think, this shouldn't happen. Looking at, nobody would tell me ports lack money. Gambia Post Authority, money is coming in. It's just a matter of, paying attention. Maybe the people, the board, the management have no interest in football. If they have no interest in football, it's rather they sell the club, like Gamtel did. Sell it to someone, who can handle it. But to say there are no funds, there is no money, at Gambia Post, one will say no, because, and I believe, you just need to create a budget that comes in, and then, allocate, one of the budgets, to Gambia Post Authority. Because at the end of the day, for the team is selling the image, of ports. Yeah. Honestly, at national level and also at global level. So why delayance in settling their salaries? And each of Port Authority staffs have received their monthly salaries. So why the players of Port Authority?
Sarah, is a big pity, and it's very embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, honestly.
An institution like the Gambia Ports Authority, their integrity, they are well respected in this country and worldwide based on what they produce. And everyone knows what the ports produce on daily basis, more especially weekly or monthly. There is no excuse of the administration don't like football or what. You are appointed and you inherit that position before the club was existing, and these are among the people you are managing. It's your responsibility to make sure you complete your tax. It's unfair to the players. Let them know that the players belongs to a family. They have a family to feed, and they have other responsibilities and other issues to take care of. It is their sweat. Give them their money, they solve their problem and their family problem to avoid stressing the boys. It's really unfair.
Yeah. They need to change the dynamics. Football is changing. I've been with the team for some time, for almost for 3 years. What they need to do is, of course, to change the approaches Because football is business. You cannot just own a team, and at the end of the day, you're just asking for money, asking for money, asking for money. But what again are you bringing again for the institution? I think it's one thing that they need to look into. This is exactly what happened to Gambia. Okay. What you need is sports should have been a team that will also be involved in selling players. You know, but you have to give the management of the team. The person who will steer the day-to-day affairs of the team need to know what football is all about. Need to know the business aspect of football. You need to know sports administration. But you cannot just have these players at your disposal. They play week every day. You come and say, okay, transportation, because they tender a budget to say transportation for the whole week or for the whole month or whatsoever. Okay, you said match allowances or bonuses per se, and that's preparation for the games and so on. So and lunch and for campaign. Now,
sports as a company, you know, should already every year, for example.
That I know. You know, what they need now.
Every year they should have a budget that will say, okay,
this is for the football team.
This is what goes on to the football team.
That is accepted now.
Allocated.
Now it is
so that at the end of the day, they will not run into this thing, because sports will not tell me that they don't have money.
Even if they have money and they will look at a budget. Now, what I'm saying is, if they want to continue, you know, with the team, they need to change the approach. Of course, change the approach in the sense that if you pump in money into the team, you again manage this team. Maybe you sell 1 or 2 players, get the market to say, okay, now the team also is bringing this income. I'm not saying that they don't have money, but when you invest into something, you also expect that thing to also pay dividend. But the team will like more of a stagnant. In fact, they are losing a lot of top players. They used to be producing top players here in the league. But look at the teams that are selling players. You don't hear them saying that they have problems in paying salaries. But now in teams that will allocate budget and say, okay, we are going to give this team this amount of money for the whole season. That has been approved. For example, it has been approved 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And at the end, if you looked at the income, you know, deficit, there is nothing there. There is no player transfer that has been made. There is no big hit movement that have been made. It becomes much expensive. So at the end of the day, the management that doesn't know football will tend to lose interest. But if you are there as the manager of the team, or perhaps those who are running the day-to-day affairs of the team, and said, okay, you have given us, for example, 5 million, or maybe 1 million or 2 million, whatsoever the amount of, or the budget that you've budgeted, is what you tender to the management. And at the end of the day, said, okay, we have sold Mr. X and Y to club A, B, and C, and this is the monies that we have over the years. I mean, the management, even if they don't know football, they will tend to say, oh, okay, this is the amount, this is the business that's in football, and automatically they will start to pay, you know, attention to the clubs. And of course, players will want to always join the club, because you will pay them salaries, pay them on time, give them the transfer and match bonuses and so on, and expect that they could be marketed to realize their dreams as professional players. But if you looked at now the players that are there, the likes of Abdu, D5, and the likes of course, Jones and the others, they are players who have traveled outside and, you know, tested the international scene a little and come back now. Why are they starting again? When will they realize their dreams? In fact, they are not being paid their salaries. They become frustrated at the end of the day. They lose hopes in what they are doing now. But this is why I said the dynamics need to be changed. Give the devil his due. It's all, I always say this thing. You don't just select people randomly and give them team to manage or whatsoever. Need to, if they, the management don't know what they're doing, you know, replace them and get in orders. We have, you know, Pa Faraba, who was there with, of course, Alhaji Sar and the others, who were managing the day-to-day affairs of the day. But we didn't have this. The likes of Bayer were playing there. The likes of course, Cisse Matar, who went to America and so on. Most of these players passed through and they were sold to other clubs in the country and beyond. But now it is not happening. So it becomes much difficult for the management who doesn't understand football. They are only concentrating on business aspect to understand the business aspect of sports. And it is gone beyond where now Sarah will have his team, invest. There's nothing coming in return for 10 years, 20 years. You end up losing interest or hopes. That's exactly what is happening to these, you know, institutional teams. You need to, it's high time for them to find market for these players. Like even Gambia Armed Forces, that's what they need to. They need also try and find market to make sure that they start selling players outside the country to gain money. Let the competition be there. That is what it takes, so that they will have their own football field, standard one. They will have their standard boss that the team will purchase, of course, for them through the interest that they have. Not to be waiting on only GAF, you know, to be sponsoring, and they're not getting nothing. So the best thing they could do, sometimes they will in fact inculcate these players into the team and say that, okay, you can become as an armed forces or be you know, a military service and officer, then we will be paying you salaries and so on and so forth.
Okay. But the best well, I know. The bottom line is, if they can no longer take care of the team,
let them sell it.
If they can no longer finance, you know, the team, The only thing that they have to do is to sell the team. Let them sell Gambia Post
And
Authority.
I think Sarah is looking for a team, aren't you?
That's it. I'm looking for a team. That's what I'm looking for a team. Exactly. Away from that, time is against us right here on Monday night football, of course. We wanted to discuss something very important. We wanted to talk about, the funds, of course, coming from FIFA. But that's going to be on our next Monday night football program right here on Star TV. Let's just quickly look at some of the messages that have been coming up. We've seen Ali Wenger said, all right, hello, Maudo Pulo. He's talking about you, Maudo Pulo. All right. You see Habib Fall also said, Real de Banjula scoring there.
11 goals, huh?
Yeah, respect Habib only defend
Real de Banjul.
Yes. All right. Mabroji said, we don't have good, picks. How can a player score more goals in a game? Thank you very much. Yeah, that's also a contribution factor. Our domestic is very poor compared to the neighboring countries, says Lamin Danso. We also Sidi Kosuno says, hello, Campo, it's high time Tom start calling our local players, into the national team. I'm very disappointed with Tom, professional squad for the upcoming AFCONs, in Ivory Coast. It's me, Sidi Kosunov, all the way from Banta. Thank you very much. Sidi Aluwenga said, if the Gambia is ahead of Ghana in terms of football infrastructure, then Ghanaian football is doomed. We play our home games away since 1900. All right. Sergeant Sambu says, delay does not have past tense. Delay is just delay. Delay is just delay. I think he's talking about
the project.
The project, exactly, that has been delayed. All right. We also seeing Emmanuel says, if Coach Tom was a good friend of the Gambia, he should be in the Gambia right now and prepare himself with local home-based players and some foreign players who are currently now in the Gambia. And Base Kujata say it again. I used to watch, Mbai during his days when he was playing for New Joseon United and Maydays in Independence Stadium in Bakau. He likes Mbai knows a lot about Gambian football affairs. Thank you very much. All right, he's talking about Mbai. He said we need some of our ex-football players who still have in fitness training to be involved in national team for the volunteering role to share with the experience they have and guide the young ones. Futi Danso, Idrissa Sonko, Pa Modou Jan, Abdul Jameh T-Boy, they all should come out, for the Gambia, our nation. Mustik Mane says, take a top striker faster than the ball.
Really?
Hope I don't run down a fire ball.
No, really, Sarah. I'm happy that there are witnesses who witness some days. This is all about football. Yeah. Because I believe, as a striker, it was my responsibility to make sure I score and reduce the pressure on my team. I do have certain players, defenders, they will tell me, by all what we need is score us one goal and we will defend you the game. I will have also other midfielders, they will tell you, all that I need is don't charge for me. Continue your running, I will give you a new score. And those are the type of teammates that you need to a team. And as a striker, take that responsibility. It's your job to score. If a defender or a midfield score, they are just complementing your effort, but your number one responsibility is to score and reduce the pressure on the team.
Yeah, I remember when I bench Yero. I remember when I bench Yero for Bas.
Very good.
I remember when I bench Yero for Bas. I don't know.
He was heavily defeated.
If the camera should have been reversed,
yes,
they will see who Bas is.
He was heavily
Yero
defeated.
came from nowhere, says he want to play. I said, no, Yero, take the mic and go and do commentary. I said, Bas, put up the kids and then they carry in.
And he was heavily defeated. Bas nowhere. Well, I was trying to locate
But
Bas.
my problem was, Bas was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, because Bas lose hope, he thought that the game is finished, so he have to undress instead waiting for the final.
Yeah, Bas was nowhere to be seen, honestly. All right, we've come to the end of the program right here on Monday night. Football, of course, we miss our boy, that is Ibrahima Campo Jata, but Monday, of course, Monday coming, Campo will be on board right here on Monday night football. This is the team, this is the crew. Your final words?
Definitely, I hate to say bye because I enjoy talking sports and of course, more especially football. Thanks so much, and of course, thanks to the wonderful viewers out there, those who are commenting, of course, via the Facebook Live, and everyone
who was following this Monday night football. A rendezvous, bon Christmas. Enjoy your Christmas, of course, and a happy New Year till we come your way. Next week, Monday, also is a public holiday. Do you know that?
Yeah, and we are coming. Right? And I know Bas will say no. I know Bas will say no, I'm not coming.
Sarah, just to say a big thank you to the Monday Night Football followers. Just to tell them again, thank you so very much for taking your time. This is the Monday Night Sports, whereby no rumors, no speculation, only factual analysis. Because whatever story we bring here, if it does in an origin, or if it is not an origin of Star FM, Star TV, we always quote reference of the media or anywhere the story come from. So whoever is to listen to us, always try to listen to our analysis with your mind, not with your heart, because we are not speculating. We are talking of what is written, and it's our responsibility to bring the fact and to hold anyone accountable to make sure you deliver for the benefit of the Gambia.
And we are not here to favor anyone, of course. All right, thank you very much, Mbai Core. Thank you very much. That is Pa Yero. I will also say thank you very much to that is Bas. You know, all the graphic design, all the decoration, everything, the setup, you know, everything, you know, is done by Bas. The pictures, you know, everything, you know, is done by Bas. You know, Bas, we say thank you very much. I'll also thank you very much for Mbai Kamara today. Mbai Kamara coming to watch us. I think that's wonderful. Mbai, thank you very much, you know, for coming toward Monday night football. Well, we also thank our Facebook followers, of course. They've been wonderful, all right, enjoying our programs, you know, on the Facebook. We also thank those who sit at the comfort of their zones, you know, watch Star TV. We say thank you very much. The program will be back. That's going to be another Monday. That Monday, of course, is going to be another public holiday, but we'll be back right here on Monday night football. And then we'll be talking about those FIFA funds that have been given to the Gambia Football Federation. Thank you very much. See you on Monday. Bye from us.